Okay, so this episode that you're watching, let me think. I've already done like 3 things today, so I don't know if this is going to be phase 1, 2, or 3 of the Sausage Pony revival build. But that little 7.5, I don't know what an inline 6 Mustang came with, but we have a Ford 9-inch with 411 gears and a traction lock sitting down on the ground. Traction lock or spool, I don't know what. It's probably a spool. It's like locked. But we have that and some other parts that we're going to install. Pull that 4 lug out, swap the 5 lug under. And in this series of the Sausage Pony, my goal is to get this car actually reliable, because it does run and drive. You can rip burnouts in it, just slide and do donuts in the yard, all kinds of stuff. But it leaks fluid, every single one, it leaks. And it doesn't have power steering, but if it had power steering, it would leak that fluid as well. Actually, I don't think it leaks coolant, so I gotta knock on some wood, man. But anyway, I've got a transmission rebuild kit, so that's going to be another episode. And I do have the 5 lug front end, but that's going to be another episode because I'm going to swap out all the lower control arms, ball joints, tie rods. We're going to do the whole front suspension rebuild. Yeah, let's get to this rear suspension and rear axle, cleaning it all up. And first, I'm going to locate the parts. Here's one of these, and I see some shocks down there. Oh man, some rust came out of it. Somewhere else in here, there is, I don't know where, somewhere in all this, there is the U-bolts for the axle that we took off. So, I don't know, maybe it's under all this. I'm gonna keep looking. There's just junk all over. That's partly what I'm doing, is I'm using my good parts. I'm installing everything I have on cars, and then all the lower stuff like this 7.5 4 lug rear, I don't need to keep that. I'm gonna sell it. But there's go-kart parts and stuff. I got like 6 go-karts. All right, I'm gonna keep looking. So I saw a glimpse of it. There it all is. See, that's what I'm saying, man. This shop, I need to get rid of stuff. So here's this. Now we need the other shackle. I don't know where that's at. All right, these are our upgrades. So Ford 9-inch here, and this, I'll say it again, this came out of that Mustang, but I have reasons to believe this is a Mercury Cougar Ford 9-inch, but I'm not sure. But it came out of that Mustang. And it is a 9-inch, it's not an 8-inch, and it's just humongous. It's got 411 gears in it, and it actually had these attached to it when I bought it with those lift shackles. So we're installing all this stuff. I'm gonna wire wheel it and paint it all, and I'm gonna show you the paint I bought and talk a little more about this. So I got some paint here, and I bought this stuff at Advanced Auto, and they're typical. I normally always buy engine enamel, just engine paint, and I hate Rust-Oleum. Absolutely hate Rust-Oleum. I bought like 8 cans of this from Summit Racing, and I didn't even realize this was Rust-Oleum until I just looked at it at home. But none of them would spray. They're absolute trash. So I try to only buy Duplicolor now because I've had good luck with them. But anyway, so at Advanced Auto, their paint selection was super small. Like, not many options. Well, their cans were $17.99 to $19.99. $20 for a can of spray paint. So that is ridiculous. But this stuff was on sale for $9.99, so I got it. It says it's wheel paint. And I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I paint everything with stuff that says engine paint. says it's 3 times more durable. So for an axle, I bought black for the axle, and I wanted to repaint these yellow. And I thought that'd look cool. I was like, that would look sweet, but they had gold. So it's not quite yellow, but I still think it'd be cool. And I didn't want red. I think red's just little, it's not my style, not that flashy. But I think gold's gonna look cool. So what I'm gonna do is take this out to the edge of the shop and wire wheel everything, and then wire wheel all these parts and paint everything black except the traction bars, paint those gold, and reinstall it or install it under the car with the factory springs. It's just what I've got now. I can always swap them out, but we're going to get it to the point where this is under the car. We're gonna have to take the drive shaft and get it shortened because the 9-inch sticks so much further out, which is great because I'd rather just shorten the drive shaft I have than have to make a whole new one, because it's like $400 minimum for a cheap shaft if you bring in a tube, which I have piles of them. So we're gonna get all this done. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm just gonna time-lapse wire wheeling this, and I might not film all of it just because you guys have seen me clean stuff before. So I'm gonna get to it. Just something pretty cool. While I was cleaning these up, every one of them says Foxcraft LK50. So I bet this was actually a kit. I thought they were homemade at first, but you know, every one of these says it. So this must have been a kit back in the day. And then these say 428R on them. 428R. Don't know what that means, but maybe it's just a Ford part number, or it was off something awesome. I don't know. So that 428R plate was apparently in like 428 Mustangs, Boss 302s, stuff like that. This axle might have been from one. So figured if there's anyone out there that's like doing a numbers match or, well, trying to find period correct, I'd show the casting numbers on this. I don't know, there's no tag, but that says 10, I think. And that's a L5 or LS. There's that one. Down there is a 29. And I think that says diff. And then 7L7, I don't know. Something like that. But this is slightly wider, like when it was under the 66, slightly wide. So I thought it was from a Cougar, but I guess it could be from a wider model of Mustang, maybe a 67 up. But for now, it's going under the car. So before I get going, all of this stuff was blue. Even though the axle looks like it's red, it actually is peeling and there's blue. and this axle was all blue. Like where you can see there, the back of that's blue. The axle, you can see some remnants of blue. The whole thing was blue at one point. So I don't know if someone painted it all blue way back with this, because that was still had silver paint on top of the blue paint, and then that has red paint on top of the blue paint. The only thing that doesn't have paint or didn't have paint is this 428R, these whatever those brackets. But we're gonna paint it with some Rust-Oleum wheel paint. I swear, if this thing if it doesn't spray like the other ones, I'm gonna throw it in that Lincoln and then let it sit there. Okay, let's paint this stuff. Yeah, that was an awful idea. As soon as I busted it open, it was compressed, obviously, and then it started shooting paint, so I pointed it at this, and now it's got huge clumps. This is, I don't know, man. It's just, all I wanted to do was paint this. That was it. Just wanted to paint this gold. Actually yellow, but Advanced Auto Parts has like no cans, and they're all Rust-Oleum, or if they're not Rust-Oleum, they're $19.99 a can. So now it looks like absolute dog crap. Then I tried to use the brush, and it just it's a horrible idea as well. And guess what, this is the one that I actually taped off to keep that bracket. So this is the side that everyone sees. If it was the other side, it wouldn't matter. But nope, this is the side that everyone is going to see. The side that no one sees didn't get any paint on it. I mean, this is a simple task, guys. There's people out there that just buy paint cans and then they just paint shit. And it works. I got Duplicolor gold, so I'm just gonna paint this. Tried wiping the paint off while it was wet. We're not gonna talk about it. Just know I'm gonna paint the rest of this stuff with Duplicolor. So it's gonna work great. And this is just gonna paint it. Well, that was supposed to be super simple. You guys were just supposed to watch me just like paint something and that'd be it. So the Duplicolor stuff worked out great. Still got a lot of the can left. So that's where it's at. That is from that other can exploding. But yeah, never buy Rust-Oleum, just get Duplicolor. Bam! There it all is, painted. All the parts. The one thing I don't have yet is one of the fourth of those gold brackets. I gotta look around and find it, or just go get some steel. But here's all the parts. I taped that one up. You can still see it says traction bars, Mr. Gasket. So, and then Mr. Gasket Company, maybe. But we've got the lift shackles here that were off the 65 restoration car. The new U-bolts that I had bought back when I put this 9-inch, well, when I reinstalled the 9-inch, I just bought those because I had to cut the old ones. The brackets, they are different. So I don't know if that's stock or if they're just, I only have one that says 428R and the other one's just a stock one, or if that's how they came, I don't know. But I did look this up, and this appears to be a nodular 9-inch center section. I read that not all nodulars have an N, but a lot of them do, and that's an easy identifier. But if it doesn't have an N, there's two cases that have double ribs like this, a nodular and then a war case, W-A-R, it's on the inside. But a war does not have a drain plug here apparently. So if you have a double rib like this with a drain port, it's a nodular 9-inch case, which is like the best one there is. But I have to call it a day, go in and watch my daughter while my wife goes to teach dance. So we will install this some other time. Yeah, one little thing, you can see that pitting, but I don't care. So voila, nice parts. There we have it, all the parts laid out. I got those shocks. I had these ones too, but I tested them. I pushed them all the way down and they did not come back up. But when I came back out this morning, they did. So I think they're just shot though. But I had those shocks from my Fairlane, which they probably honestly have like, probably, I don't even think they have miles on them, to be honest. If they do, it's like 10 miles. But I'm procrastinating. I don't want to do it. Like just thinking of the work, and right now, see how messy everything is. Still working on this truck. But right now that car will start up and actually drive and move. But once I swap this 9-inch under it, it's gonna be on jack stands till I get the tires swapped, and then the drive shaft, we're not going to get it modified yet because something will be coming up that possibly will not use that drive shaft even. But yeah, I need to stop being lazy and just get to it. So here's the current setup. It has air shocks on it and these leafs, I have no idea if leaf springs are different for inline 6 or V8 cars. I just hope they don't break in half. Back in the day when I first got my 66 Fairlane, I unbolted those U-bolts, and when I took my axle off, the leaf springs broke in half right there under the axle. They had rusted and actually just fallen in half, and it was terrible. I had to go get those new ones. Then I found those amazing ones that I just sold. They're 5-leaf 2,500 pound springs. But anyway, look at this thing. It's got like barnacles on it. I don't know, it's under the ocean. But come over here and all kinds of grass. But here's what sketches me. Look at that little bolt. Why can't it focus? There. So I thought the 1/2-inch bolts that I'm using were small because everything is, oh yeah, and it's got a garden hose wrapped around it. But this is actually a really long shackle. Look at that. Jeez, I'm having a hard time focusing. I'm filming this with a potato. There we go. But that's actually a really long shackle, so I don't think that lift shackle will do much, which is fine because I actually wanted to keep it not looking crazy. But yeah, so this bolt on the Mustang we restored in the garage over there, it uses 9/16 bolts. And the old stuff that I have, the lift shackles, use 1/2-inch bolts. Well, that is like a 5/16 bolt or something. Look how tiny they are. That's, I mean, if that breaks, your whole rear end, I mean, this leaf spring will just go up in there and the car will drop to the ground. It leaks too. And look at those pipes. I don't know if you guys remember. Those pipes up there, That is galvanized fence posts for a chain link fence. Wild. It made green smoke when I welded it. See, this is me procrastinating still because I don't want to do this, but I think I'm just gonna have to. I'm gonna slide the car over with the jack so I'm not in that weeds. Yeah, this thing has brand new bleeders, brake lines. All the important stuff was replaced for this to work. But one thing that's kind of sketchy is where that jack is. But like it's kind of rusty, but not really bad. But this side here is better. Yeah, I put those subframe connectors in and tied them into the floor pans too. So I'm gonna drop this thing real quick. Probably just time lapse it. I brought the cutoff wheel in case I just gotta cut these. The dog's here to help. I forgot this thing has the e-brake cable actually hooked up to it. Jesus, that thing is, look at that. If you can see it, I'll show you later. That is gnarly. Pretty gnarly. But yeah, all this stuff's brand new. It's full of stuff. Alright. Well, I'm just gonna take that off. Pull this e-brake cable out. I don't even know if it works. I probably should just replace it. Alright, I was on the phone with my wife, so I wasn't recording, but I got it off. So, and it actually moves, so that's good. But now I'm gonna put all this stuff back together, put the drum back on, and then do it to the other side. So here's a side-by-side comparison. So I mean, you can just see the axle tubes to begin with, but then look at the center sections. So I think this is a 7.5 or something like that. That's a 9-inch. Brakes are bigger. And I don't even know how well the camera, because on my phone, it doesn't look like the phone's doing it justice, but that is just so much heavier duty and bigger. And you can even see this one has a removable rear cover, kind of like a modern, like an 8.8 and stuff. But I mean, this worked great. It's a one-wheel drive. You know, if I spin, bet it didn't even move. But then look at the brakes. Just much bigger. So, real nice upgrade. So I just put these on the wrong sides, and it took me an hour to get them on, take them back off. And it was extremely difficult, but I gotta take this one off, swap to the other side. I have never one time in my entire life, not one time ever, installed these properly the first time. Every single time I've installed these plates, I've installed them on the wrong sides and then had to take them off. I don't know why, I just can't get it through my head. I've got the axle installed. Bugs in my ear. And I got the new, or the refurbished shackles installed. And when I disconnected the lines up front, it was still pressurized. And I have not checked or added pressure. So my bet is it was still pressurized from somewhere maybe in the 70s or 80s. So I'm thinking I'm gonna give these air shocks a chance, and if anything, just to check to see if it works. Might be able to jack the rear end up pretty good. I don't know, but we're gonna test them. If not, I mean, it's only 2 bolts each, 2 nuts even, but it's getting close to the end of the day. This is day 4 of this axle swap. The other days were spent cleaning and gathering paint, and the dog's getting tired. Alright, we're gonna install this. See if I can try to do this without blocking the camera. I don't know, I'm gonna block it no matter what. Alright, there's like only one spot it can really go, just because of some brackets that are on the axle. So I'm gonna install these left bolts going up. We'll try that. Wham. Washer, lock washer, nut. Ow. Well, this is easy. Knock on wood. Someone knock on wood. Okay, so there's the front. Now for the back. Hole needs a little, maybe drilled out, some rust. Come on. What are you doing under the car? Under the car! Oh my word! You trying to install this with me? She wants to be in a fast Mustang, she says. I want to go fast. Me too. Maybe when this is done, it'll work. Wouldn't that be something crazy? I should have grabbed the actual wrenches that fit this. Alright, well, I'm going to tighten these up off camera and come back when I get it positioned where I want it. There it is. We've got the 9-inch and the traction bars installed, and I can go back. If I remove that clip, I can go back probably 2 inches or so. So if that's incorrect, someone comment and let me know. I've never installed these and I can't remember what they looked like. I did look up and there's a couple different styles. Some that looked like they clamped and the rubber got smashed. And then there's this one where there's a gap right there. So I have no clue. But we're in. The 9-inch is installed. All new hardware with the traction bars. Pretty exciting, as that's the first upgrade on this whole build of upgrades that we're doing. Next up is the front end, I think, maybe. We might do that second or third, depending on where parts, like what parts arrive. But this bumper is all messed up for some reason, so we're doing something back here. I unbolted it, but we're about to do more stuff. So that's this for episode 1 of the Sausage Pony upgrade, revamp, I don't know what we'll call it. But hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned. Thanks.